The silent strike. The quantum arrays aboard Research Station Hyperion hummed with their characteristic blue glow, casting dancing shadows across Dr. Elena Chin's face as she reviewed the latest simulation results. The station, positioned in Neptune's orbit, represented humanity's most advanced research facility, a place where the boundaries between theoretical physics and practical application blurred into breakthrough discoveries. "Mom, look at this." 8-year-old Sarah Chen held up a holographic drawing, a childish but endearing representation of the station's quantum core. Elena smiled, grateful that the station's educational programs kept her daughter engaged while she worked. Sarah had inherited her mother's fascination with science, making the station feel more like home than a remote outpost at the edge of the solar system. "That's beautiful, sweetheart. Maybe you'll run this station someday," Elena said, saving her work before turning her full attention to her daughter. The moment of peace was shattered by a sudden alarm. 3 sharp tones that Elena had never heard before. The station's AI spoke with uncharacteristic urgency. "Unknown vessels detected. Multiple signatures. Non-standard approach vectors." Elena's heart dropped as she watched the tactical display materialize. 12 ships, their designs unlike anything in human records, were decelerating from faster-than-light travel with impossible precision. "Sarah, we need to go. Now." Elena grabbed her daughter's hand, heading for the secure research sector. The station's defensive protocols were engaging, but something felt wrong. The unknown ships weren't positioning for standard attack formations. They were targeting specific sections of the station with surgical precision. The first impact came without warning. No weapons fire, no energy signatures. One moment the station's quantum shielding was intact, the next it simply ceased to exist. Elena's mind raced. The attackers somehow understood their defensive technology well enough to disable it completely. "Security teams to all critical sectors." Commander David Rivera's voice echoed through the station. "This is not a drill. All non-essential personnel to emergency shelters. Research staff, initiate Protocol 0 immediately." Elena pulled Sarah closer as they ran. Protocol 0, the complete destruction of all research data and quantum technology to prevent it from falling into hostile hands. She reached the secure entrance to her lab, quickly entering her authorization code. "Sarah, stay close to me. We'll be okay." The second impact rocked the station. This time, Elena saw the effect through the reinforced windows. A beam of impossibly dark energy carved through the station's hull like it was paper, targeting the quantum research labs with devastating accuracy. The attackers knew exactly what they were after. "Mom, I'm scared," Sarah whispered, clutching Elena's lab coat. Before Elena could respond, the emergency lights flickered and died. In the darkness, she heard something new. The soft hiss of pressure doors being overridden. They weren't alone. The beings that entered the lab moved with inhuman grace. Their environmental suits seemed to bend light around them, making them appear as shifting shadows rather than solid forms. Elena pushed Sarah behind her, facing the intruders with desperate defiance. "You don't have to do this," Elena said, trying to keep her voice steady. "We can communicate, negotiate." The lead figure tilted its head, studying her with what might have been curiosity. When it spoke, the words came through some form of universal translator, each syllable precise and emotionless. "The Nexus Collective requires your quantum integration protocols. Resistance is inadvisable." Elena's hand found the emergency beacon in her pocket, a quantum encrypted device that would transmit the station's data to Earth before destroying it. "You're making a mistake. Humanity isn't as defenseless as you think." The figure moved faster than Elena's eyes could track. She felt a sharp pain in her side, some kind of neural disruptor sending waves of agony through her body. As she fell, she heard Sarah scream. Through blurring vision, Elena watched the intruders systematically strip her lab of its technology. Their efficiency was terrifying. They knew exactly what they were looking for. The quantum core, the integration matrices, the consciousness transfer protocols, everything humanity had spent decades developing. Sarah's screams stopped suddenly, and Elena's world went dark. Hours later, Elena awoke in the station's medical bay, her body still shaking from the neural disruption. Commander Rivera stood at her bedside, his face ashen. "Dr. Chen." "Elena, I'm so sorry." The words that followed would reshape the course of human history. The attack had been precisely targeted, lasting less than 15 minutes. The unknown aliens, the Nexus Collective, had stolen critical quantum technology and disappeared without a trace. And Sarah, Elena's brilliant, beautiful daughter, had been among the 27 casualties. The news reached Earth within hours. The Hyperion attack was more than an act of technological theft. It was a profound miscalculation by an alien power that had gravely underestimated humanity's response to the loss of innocent life. In a secure facility beneath the Martian surface, General Marcus Zhang reviewed the attack data with cold fury. "They thought we'd be an easy target," he said to the assembled military leadership. "That we'd be too primitive to stop them, too weak to respond." He activated a holographic display, revealing schematics that had been humanity's most closely guarded secret. "Project Prometheus is ready," he continued. "The collective wanted our quantum technology. Let's show them exactly what we can do with it." The gathered officers stared at the display with grim satisfaction. Humanity had not been as defenseless or technologically primitive as the collective assumed. The attack on Hyperion would not go unanswered. It would instead trigger the revelation of humanity's true military capability, a force that had been waiting in shadow for precisely this kind of threat. As Elena Chen recovered in the medical bay, staring at the empty space where her daughter should have been, she made a decision. She would ensure that Sarah's death meant something. The collective had wanted humanity's quantum technology. They would learn exactly what that technology could do in the hands of a species pushed too far. The silent strike on Hyperion Station was over, but humanity's response was just beginning. Project Prometheus, Mars Colony Deep Installation 7 hummed with activity 3 weeks after the Hyperion attack. General Marcus Zhang stood before a massive viewport, watching as automated construction units put the final touches on humanity's best-kept secret. Below him, stretching for kilometers through the underground facility, were the ships that would change everything. "Beautiful, aren't they?" Dr. Elena Chen's voice was different now, harder, stripped of the warmth that had once characterized her interactions. She joined Zhang at the viewport, her medical patches still visible beneath her new military uniform. "I wasn't sure you'd accept the position," Zhang replied, studying her reflection in the reinforced glass. "Head of quantum integration for the entire Prometheus fleet. It's not exactly what you signed up for." Elena's fingers traced the silver pendant around her neck, a quantum-locked memory crystal containing Sarah's last holographic drawing. "They took my research. They took my daughter. Now I'm going to show them exactly what they stole." The ships below represented decades of classified development, while humanity had presented a facade of standard spacefaring civilization to the galaxy. Project Prometheus had been quietly revolutionizing military technology. Each vessel was a perfect fusion of quantum mechanics and artificial intelligence, capable of computational feats that bordered on the impossible. "Admiral Chase has arrived," the facility's AI announced. "She's requesting both of you in the Strategic Command Center." The command center was a marvel of holographic engineering, with real-time data flows creating 3-dimensional representations of every aspect of the project. Admiral Victoria Chase, her dark skin contrasting with her white uniform, stood at the center of it all, manipulating data streams with practiced ease. "Our intel on the collective is growing," Chase began without preamble. "The quantum signature tracking from Hyperion's debris has given us 17 potential locations for their major bases. More importantly, we've confirmed they have no idea what they actually stole." Elena stepped forward, pulling up the quantum core schematics. The technology they took was deliberately flawed. a security measure we implemented after the first signs of alien observation 5 years ago. But they don't just have incomplete data. They have dangerous data. Zhang smiled grimly. How long? 3 days until their first attempted integration test, Elena replied. When they try to merge our quantum protocols with their systems, well, let's just say the results will be instructive. The holographic display shifted, showing the Prometheus fleet in its entirety. 12 ships, each nearly 2 kilometers long, represented the pinnacle of human military engineering. But these weren't conventional warships. They were something entirely new. The Prometheus vessels aren't just ships, Chase explained, bringing up the detailed specifications. They're quantum AI hybrid entities. Each one has a consciousness matrix derived from volunteer human minds, giving them reaction speeds and tactical capabilities that organic crews could never match. Elena's modifications to the quantum consciousness transfer protocols have been key to this breakthrough. The ships could think, adapt, and react with both machine precision and human intuition. More importantly, they could manipulate quantum fields in ways that defied conventional physics. The collective thinks they struck a primitive species, Zhang added. That were centuries behind them technologically. The Hyperion attack was their attempt to leapfrog their own development by stealing what they thought was emerging quantum tech. Instead, they've given us the perfect reason to reveal what we've actually achieved. The display showed the first successful test of a Prometheus ship's primary weapon system. The vessel created a localized quantum field collapse, effectively erasing a small portion of space-time from existence. Nothing could survive that kind of attack. No shields, no armor, no countermeasures. We're accelerating the timeline, Chase announced. The collective's attack changed everything. We planned to wait another 5 years, but now we have the political will and public support to move immediately. Elena pulled up the casualty list from Hyperion, Sarah's name highlighted among the dead. How many ships in the first wave? All of them, John replied. We're not holding anything back. The collective wanted to see human quantum technology. We'll give them a demonstration they'll never forget. The next few hours were a flurry of activity as final preparations were made. Each Prometheus vessel was undergoing its final consciousness integration, forming the hybrid AI that would give it unprecedented capabilities. Elena supervised each transfer personally, ensuring the quantum matrices were perfectly aligned. The ships had names that reflected their dual nature: thought and thunder, logic and lightning, reason and reckoning. Each one represented a perfect fusion of human consciousness and machine precision, capable of making tactical decisions in microseconds, while maintaining the creativity and adaptability that made humans such formidable opponents. Dr. Chen, one of the ship AIs, spoke, its voice a harmonious blend of synthetic and organic tones. Final integration complete. All systems nominal. Elena checked the quantum readouts one last time. Thank you, Thunder. How does it feel? Strange, the AI replied. I retain memories of my human donor, yet I am distinctly myself. The quantum consciousness framework you designed. It's beautiful in its complexity. The observation brought a faint smile to Elena's face, the first since Sarah's death. These ships weren't just weapons, they were something entirely new in the universe. The collective had no concept of true AI-human integration, no understanding of the consciousness transfer protocols they had stolen. Admiral Chase called a final briefing before launch. The command staff gathered around the strategic display as she outlined the mission parameters. The collective believes they achieved a perfect raid, Chase began. They think they struck quickly enough to prevent any meaningful tracking. Instead, they left quantum resonance trails we can follow right to their core worlds. In 3 days, they'll attempt to integrate the stolen technology. When they do, it will create a quantum beacon we can't miss. Zhang pointed to the tactical overlay. The Prometheus fleet will launch in synchronized pairs. Our emergence from hyperspace will be timed to the microsecond with their integration attempt. They'll be at their most vulnerable, with their defensive systems reconfigured to accommodate what they think is new quantum technology. Elena brought up the final simulation. The consciousness transfer protocols they stole are designed to create a cascading quantum failure when improperly integrated. The resulting disruption will temporarily disable their defensive capabilities across all linked systems. And that's when we show them what humanity can really do, Chase concluded. What they stole wasn't just incomplete. It was a Trojan horse designed for exactly this scenario. The briefing concluded with a detailed review of each ship's assigned targets. The Prometheus fleet would strike simultaneously across multiple star systems, demonstrating a level of coordinated quantum warfare that the collective had never imagined possible. As the command staff dispersed, Elena remained at the tactical display, studying the projected casualty figures. The collective's casualties would be massive, but she felt no satisfaction, only a grim recognition of necessity. Sarah's death had taught her that some prices were too high to bear, but also that some responses were too important to hold back. 3 hours to launch, the facility AI announced. Humanity's response to the Hyperion attack was about to begin. The collective had wanted to see human quantum technology. They were about to learn that some knowledge comes at a terrible price. The Prometheus fleet waited in their underground berths, their hybrid consciousnesses alert and ready. Soon, they would show the galaxy exactly what humanity was capable of when pushed too far. The awakening fleet. The Martian sky burned orange above Deep Installation 7 as massive doors slid open for the first time in decades. Dust storms provided natural cover as the Prometheus fleet prepared for launch. Inside the command center, Admiral Victoria Chase watched the synchronized countdown with practiced calm, though her fingers drummed steadily on the holographic console. All ships report quantum consciousness matrices at optimal levels, Elena Chen announced, her voice carrying the authority of her new role. Thunder and lightning are paired and ready. Logic and reason standing by. Thought and reckoning in final position. The ships themselves were unlike anything humanity had publicly revealed. Their hulls shimmered with quantum field manipulators, making them appear almost liquid in the dim light. Each vessel's consciousness core pulsed with a distinctive blue glow, a visual manifestation of the human-AI hybrid minds that gave them their unprecedented capabilities. Emergence points confirmed, General Zhang reported. The collective's quantum integration attempt will begin in precisely 47 minutes. Their entire network will be vulnerable for approximately 3 minutes. That's all we need, Chase replied. She opened a channel to all ships. Prometheus fleet, this is Admiral Chase. You know why we're here. You know what they took from us. Today, we show the collective that humanity is not to be underestimated. Execute launch sequence on my mark. Elena watched the quantum readouts as each ship's systems came fully online. The consciousness transfer protocols she had developed were performing perfectly. Each vessel was effectively a living being, capable of making decisions at quantum speeds while maintaining human creativity and intuition. Thunder, the lead ship, spoke through the command channel. Its voice carried echoes of its human donor's personality, tempered by machine precision. All systems nominal, Admiral. Quantum drag spooling, shields at maximum. We are ready to bring the storm. Mark. The launch was silent, a testament to the advanced technology that powered the Prometheus vessels. No conventional engines flared, no thunderous rockets shook the ground. Instead, the ships simply phased through space-time, their quantum drives creating localized bubbles of altered reality that propelled them forward with impossible grace. From Mars orbit, the fleet assembled in perfect formation. 12 ships, each a masterpiece of human engineering and quantum science, preparing to show the galaxy what humanity had been quietly developing all these years. Quantum jump coordinates locked. Logic reported. Time to target, 38 minutes. The collective remains unaware of our launch. Elena brought up the tactical display, showing the predicted positions of collective forces. Their stolen technology was already beginning to destabilize their systems, exactly as planned. A quantum cascade would spread through their network like a virus, leaving them vulnerable at precisely the moment the Prometheus fleet arrived. Dr. Chen, Thunder's AI, called through a private channel. "I've been analyzing the quantum signatures from the Hyperion attack. There's something you should see." Elena accessed the data stream, her eyes widening as she processed the information. "Admiral, we have new intel. The Collective's hierarchy. It's not what we thought. They're not just a military force. They're an intelligence-gathering network. Hyperion wasn't their first target." Chase turned sharply. "Explain." "They've been collecting technology from multiple species," Elena continued, her fingers flying over the holographic controls. "Each raid precisely targeted. Each piece of stolen tech deliberately mismatched to prevent anyone from seeing the pattern. They're building something big." Zhang studied the new data grimly. "Can you tell what?" "Not exactly, but based on these quantum resonance patterns." Elena's voice trailed off as she ran the calculations. "They're trying to create their own consciousness transfer system, a way to upload their entire species into a quantum network." The implications were staggering. The Collective wasn't just stealing technology. They were attempting to transcend their physical forms entirely. The attack on Hyperion had been the final piece they thought they needed. "Time to quantum jump." 15 minutes, Reason announced, detecting initial signs of cascade failure in Collective systems. Admiral Chase's expression hardened. "They killed our people for a technological shortcut, tried to steal their way to digital immortality. Let's show them the price of that mistake." She opened the fleet-wide channel again. "All ships, prepare for synchronized quantum jump. Primary targets are consciousness transfer facilities. Secondary targets are fleet concentrations. No mercy." The next 10 minutes passed in tense silence as final preparations were made. Each ship's quantum drive hummed with contained power, ready to tear holes in reality itself. The hybrid AIs ran countless battle simulations, preparing for every possible contingency. 1 minute to jump, Thunder announced. "Quantum cascade detected in Collective networks. Their defenses are beginning to fail." Elena watched the countdown, her hand unconsciously touching the pendant containing Sarah's last drawing. The Collective had thought they were raiding a primitive species research station. Instead, they had awakened something far more dangerous: humanity's true technological might, guided by the cold fury of grief and determination. 30 seconds, Chase announced. "All ships, final positions." The Prometheus vessels moved with impossible precision, their quantum fields interacting to create a synchronized jump network. They would emerge simultaneously at 12 different locations across Collective space, striking multiple critical targets in a single devastating attack. 10 seconds. Elena's modifications to the quantum drives were about to be tested at full scale. The ships wouldn't just appear in normal space. They would tear through reality itself, their arrival destroying any conventional defenses through sheer quantum disruption. 5 seconds. Thunder's AI spoke one final time before the jump. "For Hyperion, for Sarah, let them see what humanity can do." Jump. The Prometheus fleet vanished from Mars orbit in a display of quantum mechanics that defied conventional physics. 12 points in space-time folded in on themselves, carrying humanity's response to the Collective's fatal mistake. The awakening of humanity's true fleet had begun. The Collective had wanted to see human quantum technology in action. They were about to get a demonstration they would never forget. As the ships jumped, Elena thought of Sarah's last drawing, a child's vision of quantum science that had somehow captured its essential beauty. The Collective had stolen technology, but they could never understand the human spirit that had created it. That would be their final mistake. The storm was about to break, and the galaxy would never be the same. Thunder of reckoning. Reality itself shuddered as the Prometheus fleet emerged from quantum space. 12 points of impossible darkness loomed across Collective territory, each ship's arrival creating ripples in the fabric of space-time. On the Bridge of Thunder, Admiral Chase watched as their strategic simulations transformed into devastating reality. Quantum cascade confirmed. Elena reported from her station, monitoring the spread of the corrupted consciousness transfer protocols through the Collective's network. Their primary defense grid is offline, secondary systems failing. They're completely exposed. The Collective's response was immediate but uncoordinated. Their ships, caught in the middle of adapting to what they thought was stolen quantum technology, struggled to maintain basic functions. Across 12 star systems, their mighty fleets found themselves facing an enemy that defied conventional physics. Thunder's AI spoke with cold precision. Multiple hostile contacts detected. They're attempting to coordinate a response, but the quantum interference is disrupting their command network. Beginning primary attack sequence. The first demonstration of the Prometheus fleet's true power came from logic, targeting a major collective shipyard. The vessel created a localized quantum field collapse, a sphere of pure nothingness that simply erased a cubic kilometer of space from existence. When the field dissipated, nothing remained of the shipyard or the dozen collective vessels docked there. By all the stars, one of the collective commanders transmitted on an open channel, their translator struggling to convey their horror. "What have you done? What are you?" "We are humanity's response," Chase replied, her voice carrying across all frequencies. "You thought us primitive. You stole our research. You killed our children. Now you learn the price of that mistake." Lightning and Thunder executed a maneuver that should have been impossible. Their quantum fields merged briefly, creating a cascading wave of destructive energy that rippled out through normal space. Collective ships caught in the wave simply ceased to function, their advanced technology rendered useless by fundamental alterations to local physics. But the Collective was not without resources of their own. From the outer edges of the battlefield, new ships began to emerge, vessels that appeared to bend light around them, using some form of advanced stealth technology. Detecting anomalous quantum signatures, Elena announced, her fingers dancing across holographic controls. They're using fragments of consciousness transfer technology. Crude implementations, but effective. The Collective's secret weapons revealed themselves. Ships piloted by partial digital consciousnesses, their crews having undergone a flawed version of the process Elena had pioneered. They moved with unnatural coordination, pressing their attack with desperate intensity. "All ships, execute Pattern Omega," Chase commanded. "Show them the difference between stealing technology and understanding it." The Prometheus fleet responded as one. Their quantum fields began to pulse in perfect synchronization, creating interference patterns that built upon each other. Space itself seemed to twist and fold, creating a tactical environment that only their hybrid consciousnesses could navigate. "They're trying to breach our quantum shields," Thunder reported, "attempting to use our own technology against us." Elena's modifications proved their worth as the Collective's attacks dissipated harmlessly against the Prometheus vessel's defenses. The stolen technology they were using was fundamentally flawed, its implementation hampered by their lack of understanding of the underlying principles. Multiple collective vessels attempting emergency quantum jumps, Reason announced. "Their jump signatures are unstable. They don't understand the risks." The results were catastrophic for the Collective. Ships attempting to escape through quantum space found themselves torn apart by fundamental forces they couldn't control. Their crude implementations of stolen technology turned against them in the most devastating way possible. Incoming transmission from the Collective Command Network, Logic reported. "They're requesting terms." Chase shared a look with Elena. "Put it through." The holographic display showed a being that seemed to shift and flow, its form unclear even through the advanced imaging systems. When it spoke, its words carried a weight of desperate realization. "We miscalculated," the Collective commander admitted. "The attack on your research station, we thought we understood what we were taking. We were wrong." "Yes," Chase replied simply. "You were." "The technology we stole," the commander continued, It's destroying our network from within. Our consciousness transfer attempts are failing. We're losing ships, losing minds. How? How did you master this? Elena stepped forward. You tried to take a shortcut to transcendence. You killed innocent people in your arrogance. Some knowledge has to be earned, not stolen. The battle continued to rage across multiple star systems, but the outcome was no longer in doubt. The Prometheus fleet moved with devastating efficiency, systematically destroying key collective installations, while their corrupted network continued to collapse from within. Admiral, Thunder's AI called, we're detecting massive energy buildups in multiple collective facilities. They're attempting to purge their systems, trying to stop the cascade failure. But it was too late. The quantum virus Elena had hidden in the stolen technology had spread too far, too deep. The collective's entire command and control structure was unraveling, their stolen advantages turning into critical vulnerabilities. Chase opened a channel to all Prometheus vessels. Phase 2 begins now. Target their consciousness transfer facilities. Show them exactly what they tried to steal. The Prometheus fleet moved into their final attack positions, preparing to deliver a blow that would reshape the balance of power in the galaxy. The collective had wanted humanity's quantum technology. They were about to experience its full potential, in all its terrible glory. The thunder of reckoning had arrived, and its sound would echo across the stars for generations to come. Dawn of a new era. The quantum cascade tore through the collective's network like a digital wildfire. From her station aboard Thunder, Elena Chen watched as decades of stolen technology turned against its thieves. Emergency broadcasts filled every frequency as the collective's consciousness transfer systems collapsed, taking their dreams of digital transcendence with them. Final status report. Admiral Chase commanded, her voice steady despite the chaos unfolding across 12 star systems. 87% of collective military assets neutralized. Thunder's AI reported. Their remaining ships are either disabled or retreating. Consciousness transfer facilities have been completely destroyed. The quantum virus has spread to all their major systems. Elena studied the data streams, watching the aftermath of humanity's response unfold. The collective's grand plan, their attempt to achieve digital immortality through stolen technology, had crumbled in the face of humanity's true capabilities. But victory had come at a cost. Admiral, logic transmitted, we're detecting multiple distress signals from collective civilian installations. Their life support systems are failing as their network collapses. Chase's expression hardened. They didn't show mercy at Hyperion. But we're not them. She opened a channel to all ships. Prometheus fleet, new priority. Rescue operations at all civilian installations. Show them the difference between their leadership and ours. The hybrid A ships responded immediately, their quantum drives allowing them to reach endangered civilian populations in seconds. Thunder's consciousness spoke with something close to pride. This is why the human element matters. Pure machines might not have made this choice. Elena touched the pendant containing Sarah's drawing. Revenge isn't justice, she said softly. Sarah would have understood that. The rescue operations revealed another truth about the collective, one that changed everything. As the Prometheus vessels evacuated civilian installations, they discovered that many of the civilians were actually refugees from other species, captured for consciousness transfer experiments. The collective's leadership had been harvesting minds, trying to perfect their transcendence technology through brutal trial and error. My God, Chase breathed, watching the data poured in. This goes beyond Hyperion. They'd been doing this for centuries. General Zhang's hologram appeared in the command center, transmitted from Mars. The diplomatic implications are staggering. Every species they've raided, every technology they've stolen. It all leads back to this obsession with digital transcendence. The Prometheus fleet worked tirelessly, their hybrid consciousnesses allowing them to coordinate rescue efforts while maintaining military control of collective space. The ship's quantum fields, originally designed for warfare, proved equally effective at stabilizing failing life support systems and containing dangerous technological breakdowns. As the immediate crisis passed, representatives from dozens of species began arriving in system. Many came in ships that seemed primitive by collective standards, but Alina recognized the signs of deliberately hidden technology. Other civilizations that, like humanity, had learned to keep their true capabilities secret. Thunder's Eye was the first to make the connection. They all knew. Every species the collective raided. They all developed their technology in secret afterward. We're not the only ones who learned to hide our strength. A conference was hastily organized aboard Thunder, with quantum-encrypted channels linking representatives from 27 different civilizations. Admiral Chase found herself at the center of a diplomatic revolution as centuries of secrets came into the light. The collective's reign of technological theft is over, Chase announced to the gathered representatives. But we face a choice now. Do we retreat back into our separate corners, hiding our advances, or do we build something new? Alina stepped forward, bringing up a holographic display of the quantum consciousness technology that had started everything. What they tried to steal, what they killed for, it was never meant to be a weapon. The consciousness transfer protocols were designed to bridge gaps, to allow different forms of intelligence to communicate and understand each other. The alien representatives studied the display with various expressions of interest and concern. One of them, a being of crystalline structure, spoke through a translator. Your ships, they represent what the collective tried and failed to achieve. True harmony between organic and digital consciousness. Yes, Alina replied. But it only works because it's freely given, freely shared. The human donors for our ship Aeos chose to be part of something greater. The collective tried to take by force what can only be achieved through cooperation. The next few hours were filled with revelations as species after species revealed technologies they had developed in secret, defending themselves against the collective's predatory raids. Together, they began to see the possibility of something unprecedented. An alliance based not on fear or theft, but on shared knowledge and mutual protection. Admiral Chase, watching the diplomatic discussions unfold, spoke quietly to Alina. Sarah's death sparked this. Not just our response, but this moment. All these species finally willing to trust each other, to share what they know. Alina nodded, tears in her eyes. She would have loved this. All these different forms of life and intelligence, coming together to build something new. The Prometheus fleet maintained its vigilance as the diplomatic framework was established. The hybrid AIs, with their unique perspective bridging human and machine consciousness, proved invaluable in helping different species communicate and understand each other. Thunder's consciousness, speaking for all the ships, addressed the gathered representatives. We were created to be weapons, to answer theft with force. But like our human donors, we can choose to be more. To protect rather than destroy, to build rather than break. The dawn of the new era took shape in the following days. The Quantum Concordat was established, an alliance of species united by their commitment to shared technological development and mutual defense. The Prometheus vessels, originally designed for war, became the foundation of a joint peacekeeping force. Alina found herself working with scientists from a dozen different species, sharing the true principles behind consciousness transfer technology. Together, they began to explore not just the technical possibilities, but the ethical implications of their work. In the end, it was Thunder that proposed the memorial. Using quantum technology, they created a permanent display in the space where Hyperion Station had been destroyed. It showed not just the names of those lost in the attack, but a message in every known language. Here we learned that knowledge taken by force brings only destruction. Here we began to learn a better way. Sarah Chen's name glowed among the others, her last drawing recreated in quantum light. A child's vision of harmony between human and machine, organic and digital, that had somehow seen the future more clearly than anyone realized. The age of the collective was over. The dawn of the Quantum Concordat had begun. And somewhere, Alina liked to think, Sarah was smiling.